Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. I'm your host, CDB, you're not, and we're going to do a face shaving video today, maybe a head shaving video too. We're going to use Stirling 1, and this one comes without a container. I don't know if it's a test product or what. It is reminiscent of Dolce & Gabbana, the One cologne. Really, really nice scent on this soap. It costs $6 at Stirling. Again, doesn't come with a container. I imagine maybe it's a test to see if people like it. Rod, if you're watching, this is a really, really nice scent, and I think as people try it, they'll certainly pick it up. It's on sale right now, folks, so go check it out and see what you think. Also, there's the Splash for $7, which is really, really a great deal. I'm going to be using a Gillette Super Adjustable, or some people call it Black Beauty. This is the short-handled version. Of course, this is twist to open and adjustable. We'll set it on 9 and go with it on that. The blade is Astra SP, and we're going to use the razor and brush Boar today. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, so let's see how we do today with our Stirling wand and our razor and brush Boar. It's really different using a Boar from a synthetic, the way it applies lather to your face, making lather. It really does require a different technique, and sometimes I have to go back and pick up a little more lather. Just not used to it, but this one is quite luxurious, extremely soft, no scritch or scratchiness at all. It's a very nice Boar brush. And it's the only one I own. I've been through many, and usually I get aggravated because they drop hairs and drop hairs and drop hairs, and just quite frankly aren't as convenient for use as synthetic. But if you have the time to, soak them and make sure they properly dry out afterwards and spend a little more time make a lather, they're fantastic and really a good value. If I used a lot of natural brushes, I would definitely go Boar, because some of the finest Boars in the world can be had for well under $30 and some under 20. All right, so let's get started today with our Stirling one and Black Beauty. And again, that feels great. The Stirling one is one of those inspired by scents. Some people call it a dupe, whatever. And listen, I'll say this: every time that I use one of these types of things, you'll always have the group of people, oh, there's no creativity in that, blah, 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 blah. Yuck, 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 yuck. Go on somewhere else. Get off my channel. I don't want to hear that. If you don't like it, don't buy it. It's as simple as that. By your logic, you'd still be driving the Model T. And that is to say, they act like, only the original of anything is worth anything. The original cell phone I'm not using. I mean, no one uses the original anything hardly these days, because products come along and they improve. And yes, I do understand on these inspired by fragrances, they're taking someone else's creation and using them. But a lot of times these scent oils are sold, and it's fair game. You can definitely say perhaps it's not creative as creating your own original scent, but people love these scents. And in my view, the people like Stirling and others who provide these sort of things give people who might not have a chance to afford Dolce & Gabbana, the One, an opportunity to use it. And I think, personally, that's nice. Now, some people will say I'm low rent. For that, I don't care. Get on out of here, as far as I'm concerned. I do not care. I would rather have an inspired by scent, dupe, whatever you want to call it, that smells good, rather than a crappy scent, a muddy mess of a scent that's original. And there is an increasing number of those out there by artisans. And that is not to say that they don't produce great scents, original scents, because they do. But they also produce some stinkers. Let's not... let's not avoid that truth, because there's some that, you know, they come out and people praise it and it is a muddy mess of all these ingredients. It smells like butt and everything else. Look, it happens, folks, trust me. All right, stay tuned. We'll come back for pass 2. All right, here we go. And another thing I would mention is I had not tried the Dolce & Gabbana the One cologne, and this has given me an opportunity to experience something like it to such a degree that I looked it up, and it's affordable, so I'll probably buy it. So it also sort of pays homage to the, you know, original fragrance house in that regard, in that you may like it and end up buying it, as I probably will, because I really like this fragrance. So it has that effect as well. So additionally, you know, I can have a shave, put this aftershave on, and then follow it up with the real cologne. And again, I don't want to cheapen what those who do original scents do. That's not my intention. It's just to say that, you know, the constant whining about this is a little over the top. Just don't buy it. There is no need to continue to complain and carry on about it. Don't buy it and leave it at that. Simple as that. No biggie. In the same way that I'm not going to buy these muddy, crappy, original scents that some artisans put out, you don't have to buy these. Simple as that. Easily handled. Just vote with your wallet and be done with it. I'm really enjoying this, however. You know, I will say it's just different using the Boar to apply lather and make lather with. It's just not the same as synthetic. And whatever you're used to, you know, just feels right. And it feels off. It's doing an okay job, but I just don't use it enough to really have a lot of comfort with it, although I have, you know, in the past. But these days I use mostly synthetics because they just work best for me. However, I will reiterate what I said before. If I did use a lot of natural hair, it would not be these $200, $150, $300 Badgers, which in my opinion is just an absolute waste of money, unless you're looking for a handle. And of course the handle really doesn't do anything other than hold it. Really where the money is on a lot of those is the handle and some so-called exotic knots, which, you know, I'm not all that sure about that. But if you like it, that's great. In my opinion, it's not worth the money. I've been down that road. I have wasted the money on those premium brushes, and I've learned better for myself. All right, excellent. Second pass, stay tuned. We'll come back for pass 3. And here's my advice to newer wet shavers with respect to advice on first brushes and so forth. If you are seeking advice on brushes or products in general, and the first recommendation that someone comes up with is a $200 or $300 brush, walk away. Walk away. They do not have your best interest at heart, in my view. Because first of all, you may not like this sort of hobby. Most people take to it, but some people don't. So anyone who wants to, right out of the gate, have you buying a $300 brush, really, in my view, doesn't have your best interest at heart. Now, they may be, they may be giving you what they feel is very honest advice, but it's not in your best interest. Start off with something reasonable. Start off with a great Boar that you have time to break in, or something, you know, certainly less than $300. You can get a good Badger brush these days for certainly under 100, and a lot of times under 50. So please, my advice to the new folks, and there are new folks who discover this channel and the hobby all the time, don't allow yourself to be hoodwinked the way many new people are. I was hoodwinked that way myself, to be quite frank. So I'm telling you from experience, do not think that you must out of the gate purchase a $400 or excuse me, a $300 razor, $200 razor, a $300 brush, a $70 soap, because you don't have to, and that is really not the place to start. Now, you may find that you gravitate towards that sort of stuff, and if you like that, that's great. But to start off there, a lot of times you're just going to head for disappointment. Because ultimately, as I have, a lot of people find that there's very little compelling reason to spend that kind of money. Once they've had time to settle in and they're over all the initial buying frenzy, they begin to understand that, hey, this thing doesn't really do anything that this much cheaper product does or much less expensive product does. And so I recommend you start off with just, you know, a decent quality product in the mid-range at the most. And then work from there. And if you want to go up into high-end, you know, you can pursue that. But don't start there, because a lot of times it will simply lead to disappointment, as in the case with me, where I started off, you know, in some cases buying, well, I bought everything, quite frankly. But the high-end stuff turned out to me to be almost entirely a sham. Now, some of the hardware, I can justify that because it'll last a lifetime. Razors, but with brushes, I can't really. I can't tell you the money I wasted on brushes and how disappointing that was. But then come to find out, ultimately, that my preference was a $12 to $20 synthetic brush. You know, that's the type of things sometimes you learn, and if you start out in the mid to lower range and you're very happy with that, then you've not wasted all that money. That's my advice. All right, stay tuned. We'll come back for the post. All right, and here we are with the magic made by witches. There's witch hazel, which is helping with these this dryness and ingrown hairs that I've had down here. That was a result of when I was away. I didn't have my Thayers, and I wasn't on my game, and I actually got some ingrown hairs, which is not something you've seen very often over the years on this channel, but it can happen to anybody, so there is that. All right, the razor we used today, Gillette Super Adjustable, or Black Beauty, it did a nice job. This particular adjustable isn't my favorite. I prefer the Fat Boy. The Slim and this one are very similar, but I prefer the Fat Boy. It might just be the size, I don't know, but of the Gillette adjustables, the Fat Boy is my favorite. The soap we used today, of course, was Stirling 1, which is really, really nice. Again, it's similar to Dolce & Gabbana, the one. $6, people, $6. I don't know how many ounces this is, but trust me, it's a good deal. Doesn't come with the container because I think it's a test run. Rod, this one should be in your regular offering. It's really, really nice. And I'm going to finish things up with this Splash 1, Stirling 1, which is $7, people. Not 25, 7. Oh, that feels and smells glorious. I want to thank the folks like Stirling, Razor Rock, Maggard, and all the people who bring value products and give us an opportunity to try these really wonderful fragrances without having to spend, you know, $300 like the Creed stuff. It gives us an opportunity to at least try it, and then we can go and buy the cologne if we want to. Stirling 1, $7 right now at Stirling as of the date of recording this video. I don't know, even know the date, 15th, I want to say of January, or 16th, somewhere thereabouts. And of course, finally, we use the razor and brush. Boar, which I like, but I prefer my synthetic still. All right, finally, I want to say happy Martin Luther King Day to everyone. I hope today you take some time to remember his words and his call for unity, and to treat everyone the same, and all the rest of his, you know, words of wisdom. Please think about that today, and in your interactions with folks, you know, just try to be decent. Until next time, God bless everyone. I've been your host, CDB. You're not.